Going on, guys? Candace Owens was apparently fired from the Daily Wire. It seems like Piers Morgan G-checked her. We're going to be taking a look at this video, and we're watching it through Black conservative perspective. And for anyone who complains about me breathing, this is for you. Bitch ass niggas. Let's go. Ah, man.
America. Every single one of them knows this. That if you do not step out and say things that are radically pro-Israel, or if you are too quiet on certain narratives and they want you to be radically pro-Israel, you can lose everything. That's truth. That is a fact. I'm not feeling like I need to hide from that anymore or be afraid to say it, rather, is a better way to say it, because I've endured this for years.
Hold on, yesterday y'all left a question for me. Yeah, I don't know which room you put it in, but that's probably the worst way for me to see something, especially if I'm not tagged too as well. But yeah, I don't know which room you put it in, the question, because it's definitely not popping up. You probably put it in the wrong room, pimp. I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably put it in a room that it's not really meant for that. But let me know, or just ask me now. That might be the best way. Just ask me the question directly right now. And I got you.
Years. I'm just at the end of my rope. I have given so much rope here, and I am just done with it. Every person that you are a fan of, they know this. Every person that you line up to go here speak, they know this. Again, it's not even on the basis of what you say. It can sometimes be on the basis of what you don't say. That an entire mob will assemble. They'll write piece after piece after piece until you subjugate. If you don't subjugate, the bounty grows larger. So yes, there was a large bounty on my head for the crime of refusing to suddenly hate Muslims and to condone Muslims getting bombed following October 7th. Everybody can see that.
All right, guys, so we have an update on the Daily Wire Candace Owens drama that most of you guys probably are familiar with. And
guys, make sure you check out Black Conservative Perspective, man. I highly recommend this channel. Super dope, man. Super dope content creator.
Tired of it.
Go and check him out.
I'm actually tired of it already as well, too. I'm actually tired of the conservative infighting. However, I do think that the backlash against the Daily Wire is fascinating, because what they did when they fired Candace Owens was kind of a mask off moment for the Daily Wire, showing people that, hey, these people, they're really not living up to what they brand themselves as, which is a company that's supposed to be pro freedom of speech and anti-cancel culture. And before anybody in the comment section says that, well, this is not about freedom of speech and cancel culture, I'm going to address that, okay? Because I think that this specific situation right here,
I do think this is about cancel culture,
got fired, is becoming
100%.
more and more and more obvious, especially considering the actions of the Daily Wire and some of their hosts after the firing. Like for example,
Facts.
Andrew Klavan coming out here and getting triggered by Candace Owens and other people saying that Christ is king. Okay, apparently Christ is king has become an anti-Semitic trope.
The fact that you can't say Christ is king is insane, fam. That's like beyond cancel culture. That's like Big Brother's watching. I can't give praise to my Lord, bro. That's wow. That's mad restrictive. So you can say whatever you want about whoever you praising, but I can't give praise. There's no respect for Christians, bro. Like, anyone who's Christian that's still rocking with Daily Wire, I'm disappointed in you. Like, real talk. The fact that you ain't say nothing, it means that you went for this payola. You want that bread, right? That's insane to me. I would have left, right? I would have left. If I was at the Daily Wire, which would never be the case because I ain't signing with nobody. But if I was at the Daily Wire, fam, because I am a proud Christian, if they did that, what they did to Candace and all this other stuff, and they mad because she said Jesus is king, I'm quitting the same day. I'm out. That sound demonic as hell to me.
This is something that people at the Daily Wire, some of the hosts there, have been saying. And again, that kind of confirms that, hey, the Daily Wire claims that they are pro freedom of speech and that they give their hosts the ability to express their opinions on certain topics.
Steven Crowder is having the time of his life watching this right now. He like, I was right.
as long as it's not illegal. Okay. This is what Jeremy Bowen said before when there was question about whether or not the Daily Wire would fire Candace when she first got into the spat between her and Ben Shapiro. However, when he was questioned in a X space about the firing of Candace Owens.
I hate that song.
Not only
now.
did he refuse to talk about it, he
can't stand it.
Essentially confirmed that he did in fact fire Candace Owens, but he basically somewhat alluded to the fact that, yeah, he would not hire somebody who agrees with conservatives 99%. But if you disagree on that issue, then you can't work for the Daily Wire. Take a look.
Hey, Jeremy, I have a question.
Can I jump in?
Oh man, these Twitter Spaces is crazy.
I'm sorry. Like I want to issue you a hypothetical, and I just want to get your response to it. Say you've got a really amazing opportunity to hire a conservative commentator, 20 years of experience, never set a foot out of line, just really strong conservative economic values, strong social conservative values, fits in right with what the audience of the Daily Wire is looking for. But that person starts making criticisms that are similar to what Candace Owens has been making in the past 3 months or so. And everything else about their record is just perfect. Would you consider hiring that person? Like, would that person have a slot at the Daily Wire or no?
Are you trying to ask me why I fired Candace Owens?
No, I'm asking you if you would hire someone with a beautiful, spotless track record of 20 years of amazing conservative values, but they made the same criticisms that Candace Owens has made in the past couple of months. Would that person have a job at the Daily Wire?
Was Candace Owens a conservative for 20 years?
I'm not saying that. I'm
answer the question.
Candace was not conservative for 20 years, so no, this is not a Candace Owens.
Damn. Answer the question.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
This is the next Jordan Peterson. This is the next.
This is crazy. I don't think that's a hard question. Why are they, for one, protecting him as well as he's just not answering?
Jordan Peterson going to sell millions of books.
Stand on whatever you stand on, bro.
Getting millions of views
it's like
on
pulling
every video
teeth. I hate people like that.
But they've made the same criticisms Candace has made
Just
in the last
talk.
6 months. Does that person have a job?
Yeah, I'm not. Even this is too close to the Candace thing for me to speak to because I feel like there are implications of this that I'm not willing to engage
You're a pussy.
in. But if your question is, would I hire...
Sir, you're a pussy.
You know, would I hire Bill Whittle if Bill Whittle suddenly said that there's a...
Let me see.
To react to a song.
I got you. Hold on, let me see. To react to a song. Appreciate you. Tell me the name of the song, and I'm going to do a dedicated stream after this, and I'm going to react to whatever donation reaction you like. But tell me the name of it so I can add it to the playlist, and I got you. 100%. And thank you for the support, man.
There's a genocide going on.
Just tell me the name of the song.
I don't think that that's a person that I would hire at the Daily Wire.
Yeah, so you see that hear that. You can agree with the Daily Wire hosts and their core audience 99%, which that's basically what Candace Owens did. But yet, if you have a
and also that dude's a pussy. Like, how hard was it for him to just say something? Like, oh, this is too close to Candace Owens, so I'm not gonna. You scared, nigga? Like, you terrified to actually speak on what you gonna say, right? Like, stand on what you stand on, fam. If you're firing whoever says this one thing, then stand on it. But you know that your whole audience is gonna take that a certain way. You're well aware. You're well aware of that.
When it comes to this Israel,
I would love to know what their subscriptions is looking like right now. I want to know if people left with Candace
and Palestine/Gaza situation, then that is a fireable offense. Now, that is a far cry from what Jeremy Boring was saying back before when there were initially speculation about whether or not Candace would be fired. Okay, he claimed that, hey, I give my hosts room to have their opinions on certain topics. But it is clear that the line is crossed when you don't agree with the Daily Wire when it comes to Israel and Gaza. That seems to be the takeaway here. Now, Ben Shapiro was confronted by Piers Morgan, and Ben Shapiro refused to address the situation of
That's what I
Candace
want to
getting
see.
fired. Take a look.
One of the consequences of this war
They
has
saw
been a lot of very
must be in a contract.
high passions on both sides, a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the center of a very high profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all.
Soft.
Give me insight into why she departed?
Now, guys, what was the name of the song that he had with Tom McDonald again? I think it was called Facts, right? But here he is refusing to speak about facts. That's crazy. Wow. And Tom McDonald chose to do a song with this guy.
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask why?
Because he's scared.
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. Can I ask why you don't want to say anything?
Again, you can ask.
I'm only curious because I know what a staunch defender of free speech you are, and it would surprise me if it had been someone's opinions that would make you want to part company with them. However contentious.
I mean, suffice it to say, the only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace or with regard to any of our other hosts. I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. Jeremy Boring and Ken Robinson are in management positions with regard to Candace or anyone else.
So you put the blame on them. So you are a part owner and founder, but you put the blame on them. Like, I don't decide that. But if they want to fire her because of me, I'm not going to speak on it.
And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone. The Daily Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any platform. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not.
I mean, you hear that one more time?
And from X to be banned from any platform.
One more time.
Anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube has the obligation to literally pay anyone.
Let's see if
the Daily Wire is.
I want to listen and hear if he says, I didn't ask for her to be banned from the Daily Wire. Because if he names everything else and doesn't say Daily Wire, then he did ask for her to be banned. So him saying I don't have power does not mean that he did not request his other founders who do have power, then they can make these moves. He could request for them to fire her. So he's doing the bitch ass, I don't have that power. I didn't ask for her to be banned from X. Who the hell's talking about X? Nobody's talking about Twitter right now.
Let's listen close. Publisher, it is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any platform. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any.
He's disgusting. Daily Wire is not a platform. I've never asked for her to be banned from any platform. That's crazy. That's crazy. I would think that when you have your own app and website, that would be considered a platform. When you are releasing exclusive content towards it, that is a platform as well. Dumb. Also, I think that people who have intelligence can spot what you did there. You made a clear, distinctive difference between a platform and a Daily Wire, and then stated after that you'd never asked for her to be banned from platforms and listed a bunch of other stuff that got nothing to do with Daily Wire, YouTube and Twitter. Okay, so you just admitted that you asked for her to be banned from Daily Wire, and your co-founders that do actually have the power, they voted for it. Gotcha. You're disgusting.
Publisher, any publisher.
And you're such a pussy, you can't even just be real and say, I asked for her to get fired. You're a punk.
Decisions about what it wishes.
I don't respect Ben Shapiro, bro.
And not.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with Daily Wire. I can't fuck with Daily Wire. I'm done. There's too many times, bro. At this point, too many times.
I'm not going to labor this, but one more point I would make.
It's disgusting.
It's been reported extensively that the reason for her departure was because her comments had been perceived by people at the Daily Wire as anti-Semitic.
Again, I'm not going to comment on this, Piers.
Okay.
Pussy.
Yeah, so you see now you heard that. Okay, you have Ben Shapiro refusing to answer questions from Piers Morgan, who simply just asked, hey, what happened at Daily Wire? Why did Candace get fired? Now,
it could be in the contract.
Ben Shapiro is refusing.
I can understand that. It could be in the contract. It's probably in some agreement. They probably had to even pay her, right, for firing her. So I'm pretty sure she's good. But he didn't care about that when this nigga was doing a stand-up comedy routine like he was Jerry Seinfeld, knowing that there was a camera there talking crap about her. He didn't care about that when he was on Twitter talking disgusting about Candace. He didn't care about none of that. Now it's, I'm not going to comment on that. It's because you a bitch. It's crazy how Candace got more backbone than all of these dudes at Daily Wire right now. There's no one at Daily Wire I can rock with. After this, I stand on what I stand on.
Refusing to answer questions, despite the fact that a lot of people are speculating
That's why BX Beast Boy,
he is behind Candace.
I gotta be
Owens
independent,
being
bro.
Part of the reason why
I'll never
got
sign
fired,
under
because
somebody.
Ben Shapiro,
It would probably be, I've thought about maybe a partnership, right? But that would be a whole different type of situation. I'm not signing under nobody.
shown that
Partnership,
obviously,
maybe.
Her comments that she's making in regards to the Israel
No one's gonna have
Gaza
power over me.
situation are comments that he doesn't agree with. Okay, and there are people who believe that what
You send me the link?
Owens is saying
Got you.
is anti-Semitic, and the reason why they believe
I copied
that is
it,
because,
but that's even better.
Candace
Thank you.
Owens basically said that I don't think that genocide is okay. Okay, she has a problem with what Israel is doing in regards to their self-defense operation. This is what they call it. I'm trying to be fair to Israel here. In which, hey, it just so happens that children are being killed. And Candace is saying, look, morally, I have an issue with that. I don't like seeing children being killed. I don't think that that's
She's not
okay.
wrong.
Now, me personally, hey, I think having opinions on both sides of this issue is fair. I don't think that anything that Candace said is anti-Semitic.
Right.
I think that what she said was reasonable. Okay, I think she has a reasonable opinion that, in my opinion, is more nuanced than people who are 100% pro-Israel and, act like Israel does nothing wrong. Everything they do is justified, versus people who essentially are sympathizing with Hamas, okay, and are making excuses for Hamas and why they committed that terrorist attack on October 7th, okay? I think that Candace is...
You said he's still with Candace? Matt Walsh, when did he stand with Candace? Send that to me if you can. Right? Just even if I don't talk about it, I just want to see it. Right? So I didn't see anyone from Daily Wire stand with her. But if he did, I would love to see that. And hopefully he would like to leave. Right? Because she could start her own network if she wanted to.
Rare space, especially when it comes
She don't need Daily
to this
Wire,
issue,
bro.
but apparently,
especially if she keep her YouTube channel. She
essentially
don't need
being
them.
neutral on the issue is a problem for the Daily Wire, despite the fact that the Daily Wire claims that, hey, we allow our hosts to have their opinions, and as long as it's not illegal, we're cool with it, right? Like, for example, this is what Jeremy Boring said back in November. He says, I am currently on a leave of absence from my executive duties at the Daily Wire while
lying his ass
producing whatever movie they're coming up with. In my current capacity, I cannot fire Candace Owens. That's something Ben and I have in common, since he is also not an executive in the company and cannot hire or fire people. Now, apparently, Jeremy Boring lied about this because he alluded to this idea that he fired Candace Owens during that X space that I showed you guys at the beginning of this video. But again, I'm not entirely sure if he is solely responsible, but it seems like he definitely had a say. So he's not being 100% truthful about his ability to hire
None of them
and fire
are.
people at the company, in my opinion. But even
None
if
of them
we could,
are.
we would not fire Candace because of another thing we have in common, a desire to not regulate the speech of our hosts, even when we disagree with them. Candace is paid to give her opinion, not mine or Ben's, unless those opinions run afoul of the law or she violates the terms of her contract in some way. Her job is secure and she is welcome at the Daily Wire.
So they lied.
Here's my problem with what Jeremy's saying.
So he
Okay, here's my
straight
problem,
lied.
Okay, because one,
So he lied through his teeth.
what he's saying is contradictory to what they just did. Okay, Candace agrees with the Daily Wire on 99.9% of issues. Okay, she is a conservative, and while I agree with Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro with the fact that, hey, you are a publisher and you're not obligated to platform everybody's opinions, I do agree with that. The problem
fair.
is that with the Daily Wire, your whole brand is about, hey, we are a conservative free speech publisher, okay?
Exactly.
We put out conservative opinions across the spectrum, except it seems like you don't allow opinions from conservatives who disagree with you on the topic of Israel, or who are too outspoken about their disagreement when it comes to the topic of Israel, because Matt Walsh also doesn't necessarily agree that we should be funding Israel and giving money to Israel, but he's not as outspoken about it as Candace is, right? He's not as overt.
I don't think we should be giving money to nobody. We got enough struggles in America. We shouldn't be just be giving out the bag to no other country at all.
In regards to his opposition
It's crazy.
to Israel as Candace. Okay, Candace went as far as to essentially allude to this idea that Israel could be participating in a genocide, which again, some people see as anti-Semitic because some people feel like Israel is being accused of that simply because they're Jews rather than the fact that, hey, children are being killed and that people see them trying to eradicate Hamas as an operation that would require them to eliminate a significant number of Palestinians. I mean, we're talking about maybe
Yikes.
hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Palestinians, if they actually want to do what they say they want to do. So I think that's why people are using the genocide word. Now, do I think that word or
this video ain't getting monetized? This video ain't getting monetized at all.
Yeah, I think it's too strong. I'm not saying it's necessarily fair, but I don't think it's anti-Semitic. I think that
we do need to keep our money in America.
That's not an opinion that is outside of normal discourse, right? That is what people are saying. Regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with it, I don't think it's anti-Semitic to accuse Israel of genocide because you are upset about the fact that thousands of children are dying. And there are people out there who are accusing Israel of genocide because they just hate Israel, right? They just don't like Israel. They don't believe that the land belongs to them and that they should be there or that they have the right to exist. I'm not even saying that doesn't exist, right? I'm not saying that there's nobody that's critical of Israel that is anti-Semitic, but I'm just saying that I think a vast majority of the criticisms aren't necessarily anti-Semitism as much as it really is just an emotional reaction in the sense that people are genuinely concerned about people dying in mass numbers, okay, from what they feel like is an occupation. Now, regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with that, again, I don't think that it comes from a place of anti-Semitism, okay?
Yeah,
I don't think that's
another thing that I keep seeing. Every time you say anything that's an opinion, people will throw that word out there. That's no different from if you have an opinion and there's a black person around, they're like, oh, that's racist. You must hate black people. What? Because I disagree with you or because I'm giving an opinion that's not the one that you want me to say? Nah, that's not the way that go, bro. That's not right.
As much as she's coming from a place of genuinely being concerned about the mass loss of human life. So with that being said, I think
we should stay out of other countries' business.
My problem here is that
I agree with that.
The Daily Wire.
We need to stay the hell out of other countries'
Shapiro
business.
Claim that, hey, this is not an issue of free speech. This is not an issue of cancel culture. Any company reserves the right to pay whoever they want for their opinions, right? We don't have to pay Candace Owens for her opinion. And he's correct about that, except it seems that the Daily Wire didn't really feel that same way when it came to YouTube and when YouTube was demonetizing Daily Wire hosts for opinions that YouTube didn't like when it came to the issue of
that's a good comment. You said, but we can afford to give all these people coming over. Yeah. Right. Right. You getting new apartments, a refrigerator full, just money just to have it. But the veterans are homeless on the streets. That's facts. I don't get it. Well, I do get it, but it's effed up. It's disgusting. It's foul.
Individuals.
You got people that protect our country that's literally getting stepped over. Somebody that's not even from here comes here first day and they getting the red carpet treatment. It's foul.
Guys, remember the Daily Wire coming out and complaining about YouTube demonetizing Matt Walsh's channel? In which, by the way, if you notice, Matt Walsh don't really talk about that issue too much anymore. Well, the reason why is because he got back in line once YouTube demonetized that channel and Daily Wire started losing money. They told Matt Walsh, you can't really talk about this topic too much, right?
I already know what topic they talking about. I know the exact topic. If you notice, BXB's boys stopped talking about it too, right? For one, because I don't give a damn. For real, if it's not like something that's criminal, I don't care what someone does with their own personal time. Also, it gets redundant after a certain point. And on top of that, YouTube is cracking down. You can't even get an opinion about that type of stuff anymore. So yeah, I was just like, yeah.
Talk about it as much as you used to because YouTube will take that money away, right? But regardless, they essentially asked for YouTube to be held to the standards that YouTube claims they believes in. Like, for example, Jeremy Boring put out this tweet. He says, YouTube claims, quote, the ability to openly debate political ideas, even those that are controversial, is core to a functioning democratic society. And then he goes on to demand that YouTube live up to their values, right? Live up to your values, YouTube. Okay. He says, so YouTube, will you honor your commitment to allow for open debate on this controversial idea, or are you too beholden to other powers? Wow. Wow.
Hypocrisy.
Wow. Sounds to me like this.
Hypocrisy. This is crazy. That's crazy. Say when they talking to YouTube, they ain't talking to themselves.
Same standard that they're trying to hold YouTube to is the same standard that should be applied to the Daily Wire. I got the same questions.
Facts.
Are you allowing open debate on a controversial idea, or are you too
Nah, they shut it
beholden
down.
to other powers? I think that question should be directed towards the Daily Wire, to be quite honest with you. He also says, it seems insane that a company claiming to value open debate could remove some of the biggest voices from its platform, calling our take, which is shared by over one half the country, hate speech and harassment.
This looks horrible.
Wow. Right. Wow.
This looks horrible.
You know, the irony is stunning here. It really is. So I want you guys to understand, the Daily Wire wants YouTube as a company to uphold the values that they claim they have when it comes to free speech and open debate on controversial ideas. But yet they don't want to hold themselves to that standard when they claim that as a company, they believe in free speech, right? They think that
That's
free
insane.
speech is fundamental. Okay, this is what this guy
But they
said.
don't want to hold themselves to that.
YouTube is right. Free speech is fundamental to a functioning democracy, especially around our most debated issues. So again, when it comes to the Israel-Gaza situation, when it comes to that topic, all of that
That's
stuff
a
that
damn
they talking
shame.
about, it goes out the window. Because
Yeah, he cooking them. He cooking them. Because they sound like straight hypocrites, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that say they with the movement and say they against the system, but they are the system. They are the gatekeepers. The Daily Wire, they're gatekeepers. I don't care what nobody say, because we got it proven right in front of us. The person who was the truth teller, Candace Owens, got kicked out for telling the truth. Come on, bro.
Because again, Candace Owens agreed with the Daily Wire on 99% of things.
That's
Daily
insane.
Wire had no issue.
How YouTube didn't even give her a punishment or anything for what she was saying, but Daily Wire did? That sound ass backwards.
Candace Owens, when she was spewing bigotry against blacks or against women, which is what she was accused of from the left, had no issues against that. But when it came to bigotry against Jews, oh, wait, that's too far. All of a sudden, that free speech goes out the window. We don't have to pay her, even though they begged YouTube to pay them in the name of free speech, right? Again, it's amazing how that works. Now, I don't want people to get it twisted. I'm not saying that the Daily Wire is required to platform everybody's viewpoints. No, because the Daily Wire is a conservative publisher, okay? And at the end of the day, I understand when you say that you are conservative and that, you know, you represent conservative points of view, I don't expect you to go hire a liberal, right? Just like you shouldn't expect me to hire a liberal to host Black Conservative Perspective. I'm telling you what my perspective is and what you're going to get from
That would be crazy.
my platform, right? From my channel. It's not like
Getting a liberal to host Black Conservative Perspective is insane.
the mainstream liberal media claiming neutrality, but at the same time, discriminating against Trump supporters, right? Not allowing Trump supporters on the platform while also claiming that, hey, we're neutral, right? We're nonpartisan. That's not it. I'm not holding the Daily Wire to that standard, okay? So I'm not saying
Crazy.
they must platform everybody's opinion regardless, but Candace Owens did not go beyond the pale. She did not sympathize with Hamas, okay? She did not justify what Hamas did. I don't even think she's necessarily on the side of the Palestinians. I personally believe that she's just neutral, right? I believe that she's neutral and she like genuinely feels bad for the loss of life. And she thinks that, hey, what Israel is doing in response isn't necessarily right. Now, regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with that, I don't think that's anti-Semitism. And the fact that apparently the Daily Wire or people at the Daily Wire believe that it is tells you everything you need to know. That the Daily Wire is not really living up to the values that they claim when it comes to conservative free speech and platforming conservative viewpoints. If your conservative viewpoint does not align with their viewpoint when it comes to a foreign conflict, when it comes to a certain foreign country.
Crazy.
Which again, I think is a mistake because there are conservatives that are critical of Israel. Every conservative is not aligned with Israel.
Yeah. That's insane, fam. Is it not setting a good standard for themselves, especially in the near future? Like, if you go to Daily Wire and sign up to work for them, you're doing it just for the bag. It's all about the money. It's about nothing else, because there's no way you go in there for free speech, any way, shape, or form.
Okay, every conservative doesn't believe that everything that Israel does is
disagree,
right.
debate
There are some
it.
conservatives that believe that we shouldn't be funding Israel, okay, or we should not be funding this war, okay, that they're doing in Gaza for various reasons, okay, and there are good reasons to have that opinion, and that doesn't make you anti-Semitic. And when you fire one of your hosts at a company that claims to believe in free speech, and hey, we want to platform conservative opinions across the spectrum. That brings up a lot of questions about, okay, are you conservative first or are you pro-Israel first? Okay, if you don't agree with everything Israel does, it doesn't matter how conservative.
I think it's clear now. I don't think it's hidden. I think it's extremely clear on what they choose in the rep, which is whatever. That's what they want to do.
We're not going to allow your viewpoint on our platform, right? Or we're not going to allow you to get paid by us to publish your opinion, because again, you have to align with us on this foreign conflict, or else all of your other conservative opinions don't really matter.
You said the donation reaction, I'm doing that next. It's going to be in its own live stream. Like directly after this stream, I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to start a new stream.
So again, it's almost like you are pro-conservative free speech, except when it comes to that one issue, which means you're not actually really pro free speech, because again, conservatives have opinions across the board when it comes to various issues. We don't all agree on the same thing. And I think it's disrespectful to conservatives that don't necessarily agree that everything Israel does is right to fire somebody because, again, they don't agree that everything that Israel does is right, which has become apparent and clear that that is, in fact, what happened. She got fired because she didn't agree on that one issue, despite agreeing with the Daily Wire on 99% of issues. And again, I think that this whole situation is an eye opener in regards to the Daily Wire and what they actually really stand for. And I just think they're making the wrong move, man. I think everything that they're doing in response to this conflict is not good for their company in the long run. But who knows?
Yeah, it's nasty. I don't agree with it. I think that it's foul and it's setting a really bad standard for their company, but it's their company. You know what I mean? I'm rolling with Candace. You gonna kick her out? I'm out. That's my opinion. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Straight nasty.